Hi yogis, this is Julie from Totally Holistic Health and welcome to our first yoga practice of this year. I think in keeping with sort of like the theme of which tends to go in January, we're going to do a bit of a detoxing practice today. Normally I would do sort of a little bit more gentle just to ease people into the new year, principally because they probably haven't done much exercise over the Christmas holidays, because I know I haven't. But I thought it's quite nice just to maybe do a bit more of detoxing a little bit, getting the blood flowing a little bit as well. So it might be a little bit stronger than sort of I have done for this time of year before. If you're feeling a little bit tight in the hips, if you've been sort of lozzicking around on the sofa for a couple of weeks, a blanket would be really useful to use as a little bit of a bolster to raise your bottom up if you're a little bit tight. But aside from that, just take it easy, listen to what your body's telling you. Obviously I will offer different sort of options in terms of, depends on the level of your practice. So again, just listen to what your body's doing, sort of telling you really. And if you're feeling a little bit slow and sluggish, that's absolutely fine. You can really slow it down. So let's just start off. I'm actually going to use this block blanket actually because my hips are a little bit tight as well. So just bring, if you have a blanket, just roll it into a nice long sausage. And again, just helps raise the bottom up, which allows those knees to drop down a little bit. And in terms of the knees, you don't have to, or the feet, you don't have to have them quite so strongly crossed. You can have your legs out in front of you if that suits you better. It's also quite nice if you've got a wall behind you, if you're feeling a little bit tight in the core or your core's not feeling very strong, you can just lean against the wall a little bit if you need to. So we're just going to go this down nice and tall. So just try to imagine you've got a lovely thread coming out the top of the head, drawing the head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. And again, even though it's quite a nice upright posture, we're still trying to soften ourselves into it, so we're not really, really stiff. The thing with yoga, it's just trying to relax into each pose. So again, even though we're actually nice and upright, we're using the core a little bit here, but we're just relaxing those shoulders. And maybe just bring those shoulders just back and around, down the back. So you feel as if those shoulder blades are coming together a little bit, but not in a really stiff, tight way, but just really opening up the heart center a little bit. And we'll just take a few breaths here. The hands can be resting on the knees if you want to, or into the lap. The choice is yours. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Without each out breath, what I want you to do is just envisage like a really sort of, as if you're blowing on like a bowl of soup or a cup of tea, so just like that really sort of gentle thread coming out the mouth, just very gently easing any tensions out of the way. So when you're actually breathing out, just feel those shoulder blades relax, shoulders just drifting away from those ears a little bit. So really relaxing into it, but try not to slouch, just staying nice and upright. Again, it just helps with the breath a little bit more if you can stay upright. You probably find that the out breath is sort of twice as long as the in breath as well, which does help you relax. One more breath out. Brilliant. So we're going to bring the hands into the heart center, into Anjali Mudra. Again, nice and tall. We're going to breathe in, bring the arms above the head. And then slowly allow the arms just to sink down by your side. Breathing out. Hands into the heart center again, so breathing in. Again, hands into the heart center. But this time when we breathe out, we're going to just twist around to the right. So we're breathing in, bring the arms above the head. And then gently twisting round to the right. So again, trying to keep that lovely upright posture. So it really should be like a bit of a spiral going around the spine. So try not to, again, sort of like slouch too much into it. Again, just trying to keep that lovely image of that thread coming out the top of the head. Slowly, just gently twisting round. And then coming back to centre. Breathing in. And twisting round the second side. So again, if you can bring the right hand onto the left knee, that's absolutely fine. If not, just bring it in front of you. Again, just be judged about how you're feeling. If you're feeling a little bit tight, you just might want to bring that hand in front of you. But what we're trying to do is just get the chest round a little bit. And any sort of twisting is really good for just massaging the digestive system, sort of again just stimulating it a little bit. So again, which is really nice after the quantities of food I've been eating, that's for sure. And then gently coming back to centre. So we're going to do some side bends now just to open up the side body. So we're bringing the right hand onto the floor next to us. So left hand can be onto the left hip. We're going to gently lower that right elbow down towards the floor. So try to push down with your bottom so your both bum cheeks are nice and level, so you're not sort of tipping over. So you do get a lovely opening of the left side of the body. Now what we're trying to do here, it's really good for lymphatic drainage. Anything that really stretches out the side body is really good for just helping get those lymph nodes working properly. And if your shoulders do feel okay, you can also bring that left arm overhead. But again, if you've got issues with the shoulders, it's perfectly fine just to keep your hand on the hip. And then gently coming back to centre, doing the second side. So bringing the left hand onto the floor next to you. Try to make sure that the chest is open so you're not dropping that shoulder down. And again, just be really mindful of how this feels. We're going to lower that elbow down. So you might find you can only just open a little way, which again is absolutely fine. But just be judged by how you're feeling. If it feels a little bit too strong, just ease back. And again, if your right arm feels okay, you can bring that arm overhead. But again, if you've got issues with your shoulders, you might just want to keep that hand on the hip. Another option actually is you could just bring the hand behind the back again. That just opens up the chest. That's another option you can try if you want to. And then slowly we're going to come back to centre. So we're now going to come on all fours and slowly come into standing. So I'm just going to move that blanket out of the way. So slowly, hands underneath your shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. We're going to curl the toes under, push back with the hands and just slowly come into a downward dog. And again, just really feel you opening up the body here. So again, you can keep the legs as bent as you need to. So if you're feeling you can only just do this, that's absolutely fine. But if you feel you can open up the legs a little bit more, again, really stretching out the back body here. So it's a really nice stretch. Wonderful. And if you want to move the head a little bit from side to side, just to release the neck again, that's nice. And then slowly we're going to walk the feet up to join the hands into a forward fold. And just take your time to get up here and slowly dropping the head. You can also cross the arms as well if you want to. Leave the thumbs into the elbow creases and just hang. Maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. Again, the knees can be bent as you need to. Again, don't worry too much if you can't go too far down. You know, this is yoga practice. People talk about being flexible or not flexible enough, but it's sort of more to do with strength really. So flexibility will come with time, but it's really trying to build strength and that awareness in the body. So don't worry too much if you're not too flexible. That's not really that important. So slowly we're going to come up to standing. And if you have issues with blood pressure, just be really careful how slow or fast you come up as well. So the slower the better. Make sure you can see the floor first. So we're going to bring the feet into a nice level position, so normally about hip width apart. And again, just having that lovely upright posture again, just tucking the bottom under a little bit and bring the weight equally to the front and the back. We're going to bring the hands into the heart centre, so we're into the Tadasana now, which is mountain pose. So slowly we're going to bring the hands above the head. And then come into a nice forward bend, again just dropping the head down. And if you can, bring the fingertips onto the floor. If you can't, just bend the knees so that you can. And slowly we're going to slide the hands up the shins, coming into a flat back. So again, just feel a lovely length from the tip of the head to the tailbone. So it should be a nice straight back, and really, really reaching forward. And then slide the hands down onto the floor. So we're going to step back first of all with the right leg, and then with the left leg coming into a plank. Now again, if this is quite strong, just bring the knees down, it's not a problem. Or if you feel you want to challenge yourself, get those belly, that core muscles working, just push back with the heels really strong in the legs. If you make sure the legs are really, really tight and taut, it really, really helps. It's much easier. And then we're going to bring the knees down onto the floor. Slowly we're going to ease ourselves down, bending the elbows, keeping the elbows into the chest, and then dropping the head down onto the floor, or the hammocky blanket that I've just left here. Brilliant. Slowly going to push back into a lovely gentle cobra pose. Elbows into the side. Drop the head back down. Curl the toes under, and then we're going to push back into a downward dog again. So again, really stretching back. And what we're trying to do is just warm the body up, get all the circulation going. And again, because you're stretching the side body, it's beautiful just to get that lymph nodes moving. And again, walking the hands, the feet to join the hands. Again, taking your time to get up here, there's no rush. Dropping the head down. Slowly coming up. Bring the hands into the heart centre. Okay, so we're going to come into Warrior One now. So Warrior One, we're actually facing front and back, so I'm on the length of the mat. So we're going to step back first of all with our left leg. Now the left leg, we need to make sure that the left foot is at an angle. So what we're trying to do is get the left hip forward and the right hip back so the body is actually very square on. Now this front leg we're going to bend now. The main thing is make sure that that knee doesn't go over the ankle at all. It needs to stay on this side of your ankle just to protect those knees. So it can feel a little bit tight on the back leg. So if you want to bring the back leg in a little bit, that's absolutely fine. So if that's more comfortable for you, that's absolutely fine. Get a really good stretch on that hip flexor there. So bring the hands into the heart centre. And then gently, if you want to, you can stay here and put a little back bend in. Or it's quite nice to bring the arms out into cactus arms and just very gently put a little back bend in there. But again, if it hurts your back, just come out of this and just bring your hands into Manjali Mudra. And then slowly we're going to bring the hands behind the back into an interlock. So again, the chest comes open, the shoulder blades come together, and slowly we're going to bring the chest forward into a humble warrior. And again, the hands can just rest on your bottom, or if you want to, you can bring the arms up. But again, just be really careful of how that feels in your shoulders. If you have issues with your shoulders, just rest them. And then slowly bring the hands either side of that front foot. We're going to just turn that back foot round into a lunge. And then bring the front foot to doing the back foot into another plank. Pushing back with those heels, nice and strong in the legs. Really feel the glutes are nice and tight. Or again, knees down. That choice is yours. And then slowly lowering ourselves down onto our belly. So again, knees down first if you want to. Bending the elbows. Slowly allowing the head to come onto the floor. So keep the hands level with the chest. Engage those feet into the floor. Pushing back up into that lovely cobra. Lowering the head. I'm going to curl the toes under again, push back into a downward dog. Again, stretching back. And then gently walking the feet back to join the hands again. Into a lovely forward fold. Again, staying here as long as you need to. It's a really lovely forward fold. It's really nice to really relax the body. So it's quite nice. And then slowly sliding up to standing. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to bring back with the right leg now back into Warrior Two. So stepping back with that right leg. So again, the right leg comes to a nice angle, about 45 degrees, just so that we can bring the right hip forward and have the left hip back, so we are facing the front and back of the mat. Bending that knee. So So again, just be really mindful of how that feels. If it feels a bit too strong, again, just bring the back leg in a bit. Bring the hands into the heart centre. And again, if you want to bring the hands into cactus arms, you can, just to bring a little back bend in. And then gently interlocking the fingers behind the back, drawing the shoulder blades together, so opening up the heart, coming forward into a humble warrior. Again, resting the hands on your bottom, or just really opening up the arms. Maybe just keeping the hips level as we can. Releasing the hands down onto the floor. Front foot to join the back foot, so turn that back foot round. Back into that plank. And again, it's quite nice just to step the feet backwards and forwards a little bit as well if you want to stretch the back of the body a bit more. So really pushing back with those heels, really strong in the core, in the legs. Lowering the knees down. Slowly easing down onto the floor. So again, you can take a couple of moments here if you need a rest, that's absolutely fine. So again, if you are coming up, so pushing the feet into the floor, really using those glutes, pushing up into cobra. Lowering yourself back down. Curling the toes under, pushing back to a downward dog. So again, just enjoying this sensation of being upside down. And then gently walking the feet forward into a forward bend. So we're going to make sure the feet are a little bit closer together now. And slowly we're going to bend the knees as if we're sitting into a chair. Swinging the arms up into chair pose. So arms, if you've got issues with your arms again, you can just keep your hands just there at the heart. And then gently, if you want to, you can also bring a twist in here as well. So you can bring the left hand onto the floor, the right hand up towards the ceiling. Or if you have got issues with the shoulders, you can keep the hands as they are and just twist round. Gently coming back up to standing. So we do the second side, so bring the hands down into the heart centre, dropping back into your chair. So again, the right elbow onto the left knee, or hands onto the floor. Choice is yours. And then slowly coming back to centre. Brilliant. Okay, so we're just going to bring the feet slightly wider, as wide as the mat. Now, if you've got issues with your knees, you might want to put a block on, or your blanket on the face. You actually, it's probably easier. Bring your blanket behind you. So the feet need to be quite wide for this. So we're going to come down into a squat. So you bring your hands into the heart, and then gently just ease yourself down. So if you do find that your heels come off the floor, that's fine. You can put a blanket underneath your heels as well. So just gently, you can just ease down into that squat. So if you have got a blanket behind you, you can just pop your bottom on there, and then just sit down with your hands just on the inside of your knees. Again, really good for opening up those hips. And then gently, I'm just going to ease down onto the floor. And again, it can be very inelegant if you fall backwards, but that's fine, we're all in it. Okay, so we'll come and bring the legs out in front of us now. So again, if you want to raise your bottom up onto a blanket, that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to bring the arms out in front of us, so 10 fingers and 10 toes. Dropping the shoulder blades down the back. Bring the arms above the head. And then gently we're going to twist round to the left. So the right hand just comes onto the outside of that left knee, twisting that chest round again, nice and tall. Try not to slouch. Trying to keep the shoulder blades down the back. centre. 10 fingers and 10 toes. Bring the arms above the head. Twisting round to the left, or the right, sorry. Right hand onto the outside of the left, left hand on the right side of the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips behind. I can never do my left and right. One thing I'll have to learn this year. We'll put love and run on my hands anyway. And then gently back to centre. So we're going to slowly come onto the floor now. So again, just like yourself nice and laid on the floor. You can bring the knees into the chest if you want to. Just do some nice circles. And again, with most yoga practices, it's nice to, as long as you're safe doing it, it doesn't really matter, what it looks like. It's not really what it looks like, it's how it feels to you. So you might not look like anybody else in the room, but that's fine. As long as it feels right and it's safe, that's all that matters. And as a teacher, that's my main concern. It's okay sort of seeing people do weird and wonderful yoga practices, but sometimes it's very unsafe and you sort of almost have to cringe sometimes. So again, it's just as long as you're safe doing it and it feels comfortable. So we're going to bring both our feet back onto the floor. And arms can come out to the side, or you can bring your arms into cactus arms again, that's your choice. It's also quite nice to bring the feet as wide as the mat. And we're just going to let both our knees drop out to the left. So if you try to keep your shoulder blades on the floor as best you can, so you should have a nice strong stretch on the outside of that right side of the body and the outside of the right leg. And again, if you want to, you can also turn the head away from the bent knees towards the right side. And then gently releasing back to centre, allow the knees to drop out to the right. So again, it might feel slightly different on this side, or might be more uncomfortable if it pinches on the lower back. Just bring the knees up a little bit. Again, turn the head away from the knees if you want to. So again, these are all options you can try. You can keep the head straight if you want to. It doesn't really matter. It just adds a little extra dimension into it, which is quite nice. And twists are really good for digestion and really detoxing the body. So it's quite nice to do a few twists at this time of year. And then gently coming back to centre. So again, just a nice circle of the knees, just to really relax the lower back. I'm going to get ready for a nice Shavasana now, so just allow the legs to release onto the floor. Allow your arms just to rest by your side, and just get yourself nice and comfortable. Allow the breath to move in and out. Again, you can use the same breath as we used at the start. We're breathing out through the mouth. Again, it's really nice if there's any tension left anywhere in the body. It's just nice to be able to just sigh it out. So that might be an option. Ideally, it'd be nice to stay in Shavasana for maybe at least 5 minutes. Obviously, I appreciate that people don't have that time sometimes. So if you want to just stop the video there and just carry on with your Shavasana, that's fine. However, if you're feeling ready to make a move and get on with your day, again, just coming up into a seated pose again, as we did to start off with, nice and tall. And again, just take these few moments just to really notice how you're feeling, if there's any physical issues or any physical sensations you can feel in your body, and whether you sort of have that lovely feeling of relaxation and calm. Obviously, because we're talking about detoxing, it's really important to drink plenty of water. So if you're not drinking at least 7 or 8 glasses of water a day, I probably would start that now. So just using the breath. And then slowly, when you're ready, just bringing the hands into the heart centre and lowering the head. And just really giving yourself that pat on the back for just taking this time out to give yourself a really gentle but hopefully effective yoga practice. And hopefully I will see you again next time. But obviously if you want to look at any more videos, you can just pop over to my YouTube channel, or you can also pop over to my website. There's loads of videos on there as well, which is at www.totallyholistichealth.co.uk. So until next time, take care.